What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Knife Life EDC. Gonna kind of do something a little different today. I have 5 knives total. I have 3 on screen, 2 off screen. Um, I kind of, like I said, I wanted to do something different. We always hear about knives that they're our favorite because they're expensive or they look the coolest, or we have our reasons. But I kind of was thinking, I kind of want to do a video over knives that I have sentimental value over. Um, just real personal and like knives I will never ever trade or sell, or you couldn't give me enough for these knives just because of the personal value they have on me. I'm gonna start with this one right here because this was what kind of started it all, I guess. This was my very first pocket knife. I was never given one growing up or anything like that. I actually bought this with my own money when I was probably 22. I was 22 years old, or 23. I'm not quite sure. It was around that time frame. But I was at just gotten out of basic training. Just got into my AIT, my advanced individual training. I was in the army, obviously, and I kind of just I wanted a knife. Everybody was buying knives, so I was like, I might as well buy one too. And this was what kind of just started it all. Like I said, it is a CRKT. I don't know the type. I don't know. I don't know anything about it, honestly. Like, it's that old. Like, I guess it's not old compared to some people's, but for me, it's old. Like, I can't. I don't know if that's like the steel or something like that. I have no clue what that number is. I know the writing's faded for the most part, but you can kind of see that it has a patent number on it. But like, if you can just tell, like, this thing is just dirty. I've never cleaned it. I've never sharpened it. Well, I back in the day, I tried to sharpen it with cheap crap, obviously, without knowing what to do. Pretty much, I was just tearing stuff up. But I've actually I wanted to get it out, kind of clean it up a little bit. So I've been kind of working on it, trying to get it sharp again. I need to take it apart and kind of clean everything on the inside because, like I've said, I have never cleaned this. I've never done anything to it, and it honestly it still works pretty well for what it is. Like, it's still, I've never had a problem flipping it open. This was bought, like I said, in the shop at the Fort Huachuca, Arizona. Um, and knowing myself, I'm a pretty cheap guy, so I probably bought the cheapest one there. But I don't know. I don't know what it's made out of. It's probably like a good steel or something like that. It's, well, heavy duty because it feels heavy duty. It feels good and it's got some girth on it, like weight wise. But I liked it right there too because it's an extra lock type thing. See if you look right there. Yep, see it. So I thought that was kind of cool. For a first knife, preparing order to cut myself or something like that. But I'm kind of working on that, kind of restoring it, I guess, a little bit. Just cleaning it up, getting that edge sharp. Because I beat the crap out of this thing. Like, this thing was so freaking dull when I first pulled it back out. Like, it's a little sharper, but it needs a lot of work on it still. But, like I said, I've never had a problem with it. I'm not a big serrated blade person anymore. But that's what started it all back in the day. And actually, that was probably 2021 when I got this. So that was 12 years ago, just about. And I'm 36 now, so you do the math. So I guess I was like 23, 24-ish. This is the Kershaw. I bought this when I actually was in Afghanistan when I deployed. Um, Obviously, when you're deployed, you learn about online shopping really well, and you just end up spending money. You buy everything, and it is. I've seen people go in the debt because of it. They just buy and buy and buy. Then they ship stuff home, and then it's just crazy. But this is the Kershaw. I think it's a Cairo. I'm not quite sure. I just know it says it's a Hinderer design. Um, I looked it up a while back. I can't remember what it was. I think it looks like the Cairo 2. But there's the steel. It's 8CR 13 MOV, made in China. I thought this was kind of like the coolest thing. The reason I bought this was because before I deployed, like probably a year or two before I deployed, I saw my brother have one just like this. And for some reason, I thought it was the coolest thing because he was actually, going about shaving the hair off his hand with it. Like, it was that sharp. And this knife was that sharp at first. Again, like all my old knives, I've never sharpened. I just never really thought to. I never really knew how, so I kind of never really got, into that. But this knife, I carried this around. I carried this thing around off and on up until about 2, 3 years ago. And it's always been a good knife. I've never had any problems with it. I like that it's got that little speed, that little assisted opening on it. So it comes right open. I've never had any problems with it, and I've never had to open it up and clean it. Like it's just one of them knives that it just works. And like again, like with this, I've never had any problems. Like it's always been reliable. And I thought this was cool because I didn't even know what this was. I was not a knife person, like I said. I never even knew what that was, and now I know that's a lanyard holder. Kind of weird, kind of crazy, but I guess it's the more you go on, the older you get, like the more you learn stuff. So, but yeah, I never knew what that was. Kind of crazy. And I never do that. Yeah, I don't know. Oh well. But I do like that it was also you can also switch this pocket clip to this side and vice versa. So I always thought that was kind of cool too. I just never changed it. Honestly, if I now I would have this on this side with the tip up. I know that now, but I have my preferences, I guess now. I'm learning a little bit more. This right here is probably one of the most kind of coolest, I think. This one I bought while I was in Afghanistan, so it was kind of cool that it was in Afghanistan with me. This one right here I did not buy. It was actually given to me. And it was actually given to me by my younger brother. This has seen a lot of pocket time. And what's the coolest thing about this knife? Like these three are all kind of remind me of the military type thing. But this one has a lot of kind of memories in it because this not just went with me to Afghanistan. Because he gave it to me right before I went to Afghanistan. He knew I needed a knife and he was like, here, just take this. It's yours. Do what you want with it. He actually took this to, he deployed, because he's in the military also. He deployed, I think, 3-4 years before me. He's my younger brother. I joined later in life. He joined like right out of high school. He deployed to Iraq. So this thing has actually been to Iraq too. So it's been to Iraq and Afghanistan. And that's why I always thought this was probably just the coolest thing, like this memento of my military career. And like you can say that they've had a knife in Afghanistan and Iraq. First carried by his younger brother, and then by him. And it's just kind of really cool, I think. It's got a cool little story for me. I carried this knife quite a bit too. Like it was already pretty beat up because my brother used it quite a bit in Iraq. He was infantry, so he was going out on patrols and doing stuff like that. And yeah, he saw a lot of pocket time on him. He used it quite a bit. And as you can tell, it's pretty beat up. It's been tried to sharpen it. I haven't tried now. I think my brother tried back in the day. It was always pretty sharp though, but you can tell like the edge is not the prettiest. But that's alright, we'll get back to it. I'm trying to learn how to sharpen knives, and once I get that down, I'll get these bad boys sharpened up. But it's a good knife though, I like it. I like the lock too. It's this little thing is kind of spring assisted. So you have to pull this thing back this way towards you, then push that liner lock like that. So that's what I kind of thought was pretty cool. And like a good, like, I always thought it was funny, like this would be the knife I would want for the zombie apocalypse, because then I could tape it to the end of a rifle and just use that as like a bayonet or something like that, because it's not going to bend down with this thing right there. And plus, like, you got the thumb studs that's right there inside the frame, or on the frame, and it's not gonna, it's pretty good. Like, it's not going nowhere. Like, and it flips open still after, I don't even know how old this knife is. At least 15 some years old, probably maybe a little longer than that. But it needs it, like, again, like, it needs cleaned up on the inside, and I've never cleaned it. I don't know if he ever cleaned it. I know he's tried to sharpen a little bit back in the day, but seen a lot of wear and tear though. Next up is this little guy. This is just kind of got a lot of sentimental value to me because of how I guess I came about it. It was given to me from someone who passed away. Like I asked for like just like a memento of them, just so I could always have something to kind of remember them by, to remember them, their life and everything. And the person that gave it to me, they never knew I was in the knives. I never even asked for anything like this. I just asked for just you can give me the smallest, cheapest of things, whatever you have, this something so I can have a memory. And the person gave me this, which I thought was the funniest thing because this person was really in the knives who passed away, and I didn't know that. And it was so funny that the person gave this to me, um, because it meant a lot, and because I was getting back into knives, and this is what kind of got me just full blooded back into it. But like I never really looked it up online to see how much. I'm sure it's just a cheap one, but just the just the value in it, just in my memories and everything, is just so cool. It's just kind of something to remember someone by, and who gets something like that though? Someone cool like that. It's always, and I carried it around for a little while just in my bag, but that's when I kind of decided I didn't want to lose it, because the value of it to me was just, I didn't want it outweighed just the, I didn't want to lose it. I just couldn't. I'd be upset if I lost it, because it was something given to me from someone that's no longer with us. So that was always what I kind of found really cool about it. I've only had that for like a little less than a year, so I really like that thing. It's kind of cool. I look at it, I leave it out. I don't ever put it up somewhere where I can't see it. So, and this final one right here was given to me by my daughter. Now, we all have those gifts that our children get us, because I know I gave my dad a bunch of turd gifts, man. But he wore the. I gave him a lot of Looney Tune clothing back in the day, because he liked the Tasmanian Devil. So that was always my thing. I'd get him something Tasmanian Devil, Looney Tunes, and he would. I don't know if he ever said it drove him crazy or not, but he would always wear them. He would always love them, and just because it was, we were his kids, and he'd wear it proud. And honestly, I was really surprised how much I actually really like this knife. Like, we all have them gifts that our kids give us, like I said. And this was one she actually did. She's 9 now. She actually did really good picking out, because she knew how much I like knives, and she's probably just a bit as big of a knife nut as I am. So that's kind of cool. Like daughter, like father, like daughter, right? But actually, it's got great action on it. It's no problem with it opening. I think it was only $15 too, and obviously probably from China or something like that. But like, she did good. Like I said, like, it opens perfect. Like, better than some of the other knives I've got that I paid 50 some bucks for. Like, either reverse or just the front. Like, it right open, no problem. I even like the blade. Like, this is my first I guess it's recurve, I think, because it's got that little slight bend right there. It's not the sharpest though. Well, I'm practicing on some other knives to kind of, before I sharpen this one, because I want it sharp. I don't know the steel. I'm sure it's just some stainless steel, but I really just like the way the blade looks too. That little divot right there, the cutout down to the point. Like, it just looks like a cool knife. And obviously the engraving right there is top notch. She did really good. And liner lock, like, the liner lock's perfect on it. Like, you can do everything one-handed. Like, I will tell you, it's a little girthy. Like, here's the pink one. You can tell right there, like, she got some girth on her. But it's got like a steel liner in there, steel frame. And then, like, I just love wood handles. I love wood. I like the way it looks, I like the way it feels. It's just an all-around great knife, except I just need to sharpen it up a little bit, especially for $15. I don't know about y'all, but my daughter is the bomb. But these are the kind of the knives, like I said, and just have sentimental value to me. And I know we all have those knives, and honestly, I would love to know what you guys have, like, knife-wise, that has that type of thing for you. Like, we all have that type of stuff that, like, whether it's clothing or pins or stuffed animals. I don't even know what y'all got, but we all have something that has like that value that we've either was brought up with, or that just reminds us of being at a better time or younger days, or just takes us back to a time that was better, I guess. And these are kind of like that for me. So I don't know. Like I said, I would love to know what you guys have. Just let me know in the comments section. All right.